Hi guys, I'm Serena Poon and welcome to my show, Serena Loves. As a celebrity chef, nutritionist, and entrepreneur, I'm incredibly passionate about helping others live their best life through methods I call culinary alchemy, which is the magic of combining education, integrative and functional nutrition with healing and intuitive energy. So, with each episode, I'm going to share with you the inspiring stories of some amazing people, entrepreneurs from all different backgrounds, who have all overcome challenges in their personal journey to get to where they are today. And today, I'm so excited to welcome such a special guest. Her name is Emily Fletcher, and she is a world-renowned meditation teacher. You are also regarded as the leading meditation expert for high performance. You have created this incredible technique called the Ziva Technique. You're the founder of Ziva Meditation, which is the world's first online meditation training course, which is amazing. I'm gonna have to check that out myself. And most recently, you have this book. You're the author of this Stress Less, Accomplish More, which the title in and of itself, I'm like, this is on my Christmas list for everybody I know. So I would love for you to kind of, before you dive into these techniques, I'd love for you to share a little bit about, your personal journey that brought you here. I know that we kind of shared our first hug just recently, but my sister has been raving about you for months because she saw you at Summit LA. And when we kind of took a look into like what your story was, we realized there were so many parallels. That your dad also had stage 4 liver cancer like ours, which is sort of that was the catalyst for my healing journey and, to become someone in the healing arts. So could you share a little bit about yours?
Sure. So the story I normally tell is my story about how I went from stressed out Broadway performer to meditation teacher.
Right.
But really the beginning was when my father got sick. I was 24, I was performing on Broadway, and by the time he was diagnosed, it was stage 4.
Yeah.
And so I left my show, I came home, and I actually became sort of like a makeshift nutritionist. I started researching, well, how can I feed his body and starve the cancer? What alternative treatments can we look into? Because Western medicine basically sent him home to die.
Yeah.
And when it's such a new diagnosis, you're not willing to accept that as a reality. You want to fight it, you want to do everything you can.
Yeah.
And what was fascinating is by the time I got home from my show, he was basically in a coma, but through, juicing and feeding his body and all these alternative treatments, he was able to walk up and down the stairs, go outside, have conversations. He was able to say his goodbyes with the time that he had left.
Wow. Yeah.
And it just felt like such a gift. And it was a gift for him to be able to say his goodbyes. It was a gift for me to be able to watch just how powerful food, nutrition, these alternative methods can be, that you really can heal the body.
Right.
And so even though his diagnosis was too far gone to reverse, it still was powerful to witness. And that was really the beginning where I realized just how much we can control and can help ourselves. And then a couple years later, I found meditation and it cured my insomnia. I stopped going gray. I didn't get sick for 8.5 years. And I thought, why does everyone not do this?
Well, let's actually talk about that a little bit, because I did hear part of that story the other day, and it was so compelling because that's where a lot of us have been and where some of us are still, is to try and figure out, how can I help myself? And you were on Broadway at the time?
So the thing that I think is interesting but also universal about my story is that I thought my happiness was going to come on the other side of a goal that I achieved.
Right.
And my whole life I thought, well, once I get on Broadway, then I will be happy.
Right.
I think oftentimes we're willing to eat crappy food, not exercise. We're willing to just, suffer now for this perceived payoff in the future. And for me, it was Broadway, but then I got it. I got the dream when I was 22. 3 weeks later, it was the saddest I had ever been.
Yeah.
And so I just thought, well, my happiness must be in my next show, and my next show, and my next boyfriend, and my next agent, and I did that for a decade.
Wow.
And then finally, my last show, I was understudying 3 of the lead roles in a chorus line, which is really intense. Like, you're in a constant state of fight or flight.
Yeah.
And that led to insomnia. I couldn't sleep through the night for 18 months. I started going gray at 26. I started getting sick and injured, and it was confusing why I was living my dream but miserable.
Right.
So long story short, I found meditation, and it cured my insomnia on the first day of my first class.
Wow.
I stopped going gray. I'm going to be 40 in 2 weeks. I have 1 gray hair. I was legitimately going gray over a decade ago. I did not get sick for 8.5 years. But most importantly, I started enjoying my job again. And I thought, why does everyone not do this? So I left Broadway, I went to India, and I started what became a 3-year training process to teach. And since then, I've taught over 15,000 people to meditate. Just came out with this book to share with more people. And it's just been so exciting.
I mean, you've literally taught and trained the highest performers on the planet. I mean, everyone at the top of their game, from Navy SEALs to top level athletes, CEOs of Fortune 500. I mean, just everybody. And so I know that you have like these pillars and these techniques that I'd love for you to share some tips with the community and more about this book. I know it's sort of something that breaks it down, right, and makes it you actually say it the best.
Well, so I think that everyone knows they should be meditating.
Right.
No one's meditating.
Yeah, that was something you said. You said there's a difference between mindfulness and meditation. People confuse it. And I think that would be a great place to actually start, because people do confuse it. You know, I've actually used it incorrectly, interchangeably in the past.
So the Ziva technique, what I teach in the book and what I teach in our online course is a trifecta of mindfulness, meditation, and manifesting. The 3 M's.
Yeah.
Mindfulness, meditation, and manifesting. And exactly like you said, where this gets confusing for folks is that people are using the terms mindfulness and meditation as synonyms.
Right.
But they're not the same thing. I would define mindfulness as the art of bringing your awareness into the present moment, which is beautiful and powerful and necessary. And most of the apps out there, most of the drop-in studios, most of the guided YouTube videos are actually teaching what I would call mindfulness, which is very different than the type of meditation that we teach at Ziva, which is all about letting go. It's all about deep healing rest. And where this differentiation is important is that mindfulness is very good at dealing with your stress in the now.
Right.
If my boss yelled at me, I feel stressed. Let me do 10 minutes of my app. I feel better in the now, like crisis meditation, I call it, which is different.
This is a great term, actually.
And it's helpful. If you're in a fight or flight, like, yes, have a technique that's going to get you out of the state.
Right.
But the meditation that we teach at Ziva, it's designed to be done every day. And it's actually going after the stress from your past.
Right.
All that stuff that's been stored in your cellular memory, that stuff that is making us stupid, sick, and slow as a species, that's what Ziva heals. And it really is that eradication of the backlog of stresses in our nervous system that ushers us into higher states of cognitive performance.
Right.
And this is why I've basically written this book as a Trojan horse to reframe meditation as the productivity tool that it can be. Because everybody says, well, I want to meditate. I know I should meditate, but I'm too busy.
Right.
And the only reason people are saying that they're too busy to meditate is that they haven't yet found a technique that is giving them a return on their time investment. Because our time is our most valuable resource.
Absolutely.
And if we're not getting a return on that investment, then no one has time to meditate.
Right.
But in this style, what most people say is that for the 15 minutes that I invest, I get back 2 hours, 3 hours of productivity in my day.
Wow.
My sleep is better. I don't get sick. I'm more creative. And then it's like, I don't have time not to meditate.
Right. It becomes like breathing.
Yeah, like non-negotiable.
So, 15 minutes, is it at the beginning of the day, in the middle of the day? I mean, how is it, how do you teach it,
Yeah, so I recommend, if you don't have any meditation training, I recommend 0 minutes a day.
Okay.
And that sounds dramatic, but it's just to highlight the fact that it really is like any other skill.
Right.
And we have to be taught how to do it, because if you don't learn how to do it on the front end, then you're always going to feel like a failure, you're always going to be trying to clear your mind.
Right.
And then people sit down, they're like, okay, brain, stop meditating. Sure would like a snack.
Right.
That's delicious. Like, I can't meditate. My brain is too crazy. And so the thing is that the mind thinks involuntarily, just like the heart beats involuntarily. So trying to give the brain a command to be silent is as impactful as trying to give the heart a command to stop beating. It doesn't work, and yet this is the criteria by which most people are judging themselves. So step 1, know that it's a skill, get some training. This is your brain that we're talking about. It's responsible for printing every cell in your body and making every decision in your life. So you want to take good care of your brain.
Right.
So step 1, once you have some training though, I recommend 15 minutes twice a day. That's what I teach in the book. It's what I teach in ZivaOnline. And I recommend in the morning before coffee, breakfast, or computer. And then ideally in that mid-afternoon slump where you would have had the nap or the chocolate, or you start noticing yourself getting a little tired and making mistakes, steal away, go to the stairwell, go to your car, close your eyes, dive in. And then what most people report is that they feel refreshed, energized, creative, and they have more energy to finish the rest of their to-do list, to have energy to hang out with their kids, energy to maybe have sex with their partner, get crazy.
Yeah.
Maybe don't just pass out on the couch, watching Game of Thrones.
So that's interesting, because I never thought about doing it in the middle of the afternoon as a daily, ritual practice. I in the morning, yes, and I was doing it in the evening, and then I guess I was doing what you said is almost like crisis meditation. Sometimes in the middle of the day and something is throwing me off. I'll do what's really just mindfulness, right?
Yeah.
So that's a great tip to try and put it in that mid-afternoon part of the day, which, like you said, a lot of people have that kind of slump, right?
Yes.
And they reach for something that maybe doesn't benefit their body the same way.
And in that time, if we've already let our brains and bodies run out of gas, it's so much easier to reach for the cookie, to reach for the chocolate, to reach for the thing that we know is not going to make us feel great.
Right.
But we're so tired that we're just reaching for anything to give us that jolt, that hit of energy. But the meditation is a sustainable form of energy.
Yeah, and you can take it anywhere with you.
Yeah, it's
you
super
don't need
portable.
anything. Yeah.
The ultimate portable device.
I mean, we have Just Add Water, which is great for that, but you still need it, meditation anywhere, anytime.
Just like you would not wait until you ran out of gas to go to the gas station. Like you would not wait until, I just, when my car runs out of gas, I just call AAA.
Yeah.
That's not a sustainable strategy.
Right.
You want to fill up before you run out of gas. So same thing with meditation. It's like you fill up your brain with this adaptation energy, with bliss and fulfillment. You actually flood your brain and body with dopamine and serotonin, which are bliss chemicals. So you have this bliss and happiness to deliver to your job, to deliver to your family, and really just enjoy your life more in addition to performing better.
Right, I love that. I mean, that's what all of us need, right? Yeah. So in your book, how do you really break it down so that someone who's out there who is thinking about meditation, who isn't really sure, whose sister does it, but she's clearly hippie woo-woo, how would you break down, how someone can use the book?
Yes, so I wrote the book in 3 parts. The first third is all the science behind what I call the selfish reasons that we come to meditation. There's a whole chapter on sex, why meditation can actually help you have better sex.
Soundbite.
Yeah, there's a whole chapter on better sleep, why meditation can help you get deeper, more refreshing sleep and ultimately need less of it. There's a whole chapter on how it can reverse your body age by up to 8 to 15 years.
Wow.
I'm actually 86 years old. Looking great. And there's a whole chapter on how it can boost your immune system. And there's a lot of case studies. At the end of each chapter, there's also case studies. So I have folks who were 42, 44, getting pregnant for the first time. I got pregnant on my first try at 39 years old. So like an uptick in fertility. There's a whole chapter on how it can help you make more money. Because really, when people say I'm too busy to meditate, what they're saying is that I'm too busy making money. I'm prioritizing something that's making me money over something that's making me happy.
Right.
To that, I say, okay, well, what if there was a thing that would help you make more money, have better sex, reverse your body age, enjoy your life more, and it's also going to make you a nicer person. Then the answer is, of course, I want to do that. Yeah, and so the book is really meant to be a bit of a Trojan horse. We're wrapping the very powerful medicine that is meditation in the candy coating of hey, it's going to help you be better at your job. So the first third is all the science behind the selfish reasons that we come to meditation. The second part, I actually teach a version of the Ziva technique. So people will learn the mindfulness, the meditation, and the manifesting in a way that they have these tools to take with them for life. They'll be self-sufficient. So you won't need an app or finger symbols or gongs or incense or a dude playing drums on your chest in order to meditate.
You just need you.
That's right. You just need you. Ultimate portable device.
Yeah.
And then in the last part of the book, we pull the lens out, we zoom out, and we say, okay, how does you selfishly improving yourself, how does that impact your relationships, your family, your coworkers, and ultimately humanity itself?
Wow. I love it. So when people have this book, is it like an intro also to the course online? Or how is that that's obviously something that's different, but would they use it as an intro to the course?
It can be. It's very much, it's like the best notes ever from any of my courses. And you can start with the book, or you could just start with the online course. You could even start with the in-person course. All of them are fine starting places. What's going to change is the amount of time that you're meditating each day and the level of intensity of the mantras. So we use something called a mantra, and that term has been a little hijacked by the wellness industry. We use the term mantra in this day and age to mean affirmation of I'm a strong woman, or I deserve abundance. And those are all great. Affirmations are great, but they're very different than the way that we use mantras at Ziva, because we use mantras to go in and de-excite the nervous system. When you de-excite something, you create order. And when you create order in your body, that's the mechanism that allows that backlog of stresses that we all have in our cellular, and now we know epigenetic memory. That's what allows that stuff to come up and out. And so the mantras are different in the book versus Ziva Online. online versus Ziva Live.
Okay.
And that's by design, because what I can teach face-to-face is obviously more powerful than what I can teach online, is more powerful than what I can teach in the book. Because if people are dealing with severe anxiety or depression or trauma, I wouldn't want to give them something that would create too intense of an emotional catharsis if they didn't have the support to move through that.
So if I were to ask you for an example of a mantra right now for, let's say, like everyday stress, you know, just kind of like what people deal with all the time, whether you're a mom or you're an entrepreneur or, you know, you run a business or you work for a real, you know, difficult boss. You know?
Nice word. So I'm happy to give you a technique, and there's one that I can use that I actually teach in the book that's very simple, very fast.
Okay,
It's really good to get you if you're just on the cusp of a panic attack or an anxiety attack. It's really fast, really simple. But the mantras that I give are, I like to think about them like the keys to the car. It's like if you want to get the key to the car, you got to get the driving instructions.
Right.
So I want to make sure that if people are going to get the key, that I know that they can drive this car safely.
Right.
And I'm happy to teach a tool right now that's
something
really
we
great.
can share.
Yeah, and it's so simple but really powerful, and it's called the 2X breath.
Okay.
And it's so simple. All we're doing is that we're doubling the length of the exhale from the inhale. And when we do that, we strengthen the vagus nerve, right? And the vagus nerve is the main connector between the brain and the body.
Okay.
It is the thing that is connecting our gut and our mind. And so it's very important that it's strong. So we're going to inhale for the count of 2. Just inhale through the nose for 2. And then exhale through your mouth for the count of 4. Really good. Inhaling through the nose for 2. And exhaling through your mouth for 4. You're doing great. We'll do a few more breaths. Inhaling, biggest inhale you've taken all day. Inhale for 2. And then exhaling through your mouth for 4. You can sit with your back supported, your head free. And we'll inhale again. Big, delicious inhale right into your belly. And as you exhale, letting your brow soften, letting your jaw soften, letting your shoulders drop. And you can do this one more time in your own time. Inhaling, biggest inhale you've taken all year, oxygenating your blood, your organs. And then exhaling, doubling the length of the exhale, letting your body soften and allowing yourself to arrive right here, right now, reminding yourself that you are ahead of schedule. You cannot veer off your destiny, and that you're doing an amazing job. And in your own time, you can open the eyes.
I love that.
So simple, right?
I mean, is everyone awake here? I just want to make sure.
Like, wake up.
Everyone's just zenned out for it. That was beautiful.
Oh, good. I'm so glad you enjoyed it.
No, really. I mean, I felt, you know, in the back of my head, I'm like, all right, this a certain, you know, posture and this and that. I'm thinking, and that's all gone, you know, and I'm just sort of very here. Not that I wasn't present, but even more present.
Even more present,
you know, so that was amazing.
Good.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I know that'll be so useful. You know, and people can start with that. And then they can obviously find you right online. Where's the best place to find you, find the book?
Yeah, so the book is available. Anywhere books are sold. You can get it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million. It's called Stress Less, Accomplish More. And for our online course, it's called ZivaOnline. And our live course, you can find those at ZivaMeditation.com. That's ZIVA meditation.com. And we're all over social media, just at Ziva Meditation.
And then you have a social as well, right?
Yes. So if you want to see pictures of me and my adorable baby.
So cute, her baby.
That's at Emily Stella Fletcher.
Yes. Thank you so much for coming today. Really, it was just such a joy, and I'm so glad it aligned. It was perfect. I mean,
nature had this
she
in store
was
for
like,
us.
yeah, this is meant to be, because now you're jetting off back to New York, and you probably have 5 other interviews with other places, so thank you.
It's my absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much for joining us today, you guys. This is Serena Loves, Emily Fletcher. We'll see you next time.